New videos every day.
My name is Chica Christenson. I'm a personal trainer in Austin, Texas, and today I want to address the topic of motion and our bodies being in motion and the way that we kind of have gone away from moving as a species and the things that we do in our daily lives that are kind of in opposition of the way that we were created. If you look back onto our ancestors and the things that they did for a living, they walked from place to place. They carried everything that they needed to on their backs. They gardened everything, and they pretty much everything they did they had to do with their own hands. And if you look at the way that we've kind of evolved today, we sit all day long. We sit in desk chairs. We sit in cars. We sit on couches. All we do is sit. We sit when we eat. We sit when we do all these things, and it's kind of an opposite of the way that our bodies were created. Like, our bodies were created to be mobile and ambulatory and walk around and get us from point A to point B. And a lot of our bodies, my experience has been as a lot of the clients that I have come in who do sit on all day, it makes it slightly more challenging to teach them simple, basic movement patterns, even as simple as the correct way to walk. You know, they're carrying themselves kind of awkwardly. They feel like a lot of the things that they do are hard for them to do, or slightly frustrated because they don't feel like it's as efficient as other people that they see doing the movement. And a lot of that is just from sitting all day. And a lot of things that happen, or some of the things that happen as a result of sitting all day or slouching all day, are certain muscles will become overstretched and unable to work efficiently, and the opposing muscles will actually become overactive and try to do the work of some of the other ones. And a lot of times, sometimes this will cause some muscles to actually completely shut off. So making a motion that should be fairly simple, actually fairly difficult for somebody who has this kind of muscle imbalance.
Can you give an example of that?
Yeah, the best example is people who slouch and type on a computer all day. So suddenly their shoulders are rounded forward and they're in this position. So these muscles right here in the front and this muscle right up here on top starts doing the work of a simple exercise. Like if you put them on a row where you're supposed to pull back like this, these muscles will actually shut the muscles off that stabilize the scapula or the shoulder blade in the very back and tell them not to work anymore, that will do the same motion. So you'll see people do rows like this as opposed to opening that chest up because that muscle will get overactive. That's one of the ones I experience daily. The people who come in, they sit in front of a computer all day, they have poor posture, and this leads to the body actually adapting to their lifestyle, to their sedentary lifestyle. So it makes it slightly difficult to get them back into more of an active lifestyle and doing it in a proper way. This translates really, really to kids a lot. Like, kids have specific development patterns. Like, most people who've had a child or knew someone had a child knew, like, they're going to start talking at a certain age and they're going to start crawling at a certain age, and they're all fairly the same within a couple months. And children who start walking and those type of things, our bodies, the way that we've kind of evolved and the way that the body is structured to be. So it's like if you buy a seed for a plant and you put it in the ground, you know that you're going to get whatever plant you bought. So if you bought, a pumpkin seed and you put it in the ground, you know that the pumpkin's going to grow out of the ground and a pumpkin's going to develop. The same kind of thing is with the human body, is that it's hardwired to do a certain thing. It's hardwired to allow us to be ambulatory and allow us to move ourselves through space and to move things through space with us. So sitting for long periods of time actually can inhibit that or make it more difficult for people. And same thing with kids. Like, if they are not moving around and they're not being ambulatory and playing and running and jumping and whatever, it is that they like to do, if they're sitting around all day, a lot of these things are stunted or halted, and it makes it much more difficult for them to try to regain those once they get older, once they become an adolescent or an adult, to learn a basic moving pattern of walking or being able to do a squat or being able to do a simple row, or things that a lot of people who are in shape and do frequently or been athletes their entire life do normally and don't think twice about it. Some of the solutions that I would have is, getting your children out and playing and just having moving around. They don't have to be in a gym doing squats. But for my older clientele, go back to a lot of those tips that, getting up and walking on your breaks at work, especially now during the Christmas season, it makes it really hard to find time to squeeze in 30 minutes. But if you did 10 minutes of walking on your first break and 10 minutes of walking on your break before you got home, you only have 10 more minutes that you really have to focus on doing, whether it being getting home and taking your dogs and your kid for a walk or something along those lines, where it actually may not be the intense workout and you don't feel like you're working out like an athlete or some of the programs where you see on television, but you're still up and moving. You're still getting some of those neurological pathways being maintained in order to help walk from one place to the other or even around the block. Some things that a lot of us take for granted that other people can't really do. Those are huge things, and then to think about, like what our bodies were actually designed for and why we're actually here. And technology has kind of taken a big part of that out of our lifestyle, and trying to get back into it is really challenging for some people, but it's actually very doable. And addressing pain, a lot of times people who sit all day long have low back pain. They're carrying around a lot more weight than their body's comfortable with. Their knees hurt. And this could actually be a deterrent to working out, or a deterrent to a healthy lifestyle, or even a deterrent to simple tasks like playing with your children or walking your dog or going to the gym. So a lot of times just addressing where that pain is coming from and trying to figure out if it's something that you can manage through exercise, or it's something whether you need to seek medical professional to help correct. But trying to get the body corrected and fixed and out of pain so that you can do the things you want to do, whether it be get to the gym and work out, or play with your kids, or go for a walk, or whatever it is that your main goal is. But pain is a huge deterrent for most of the people. It's also one of the things that decrease motivation to continue to doing the things that they're wanting to do, whether it be they wanted to run a marathon and they started training. The next thing you know, their knee's hurting, so they have to stop doing it, and it actually helps. It prevents them from continuing this, or even other things that may, like I can't run, so I also can't do fill in the blank. Like I can't run around the backyard with my kids or whatever without being in pain. So pain's a pretty big signal. It's also kind of like your check engine light coming on in your car. Your body's trying to tell you something. Hey, either time to slow down, or trying to fix what's going on, or time to go see a doctor and see if we can get this fixed. A lot of times I get clients who do have sedentary lifestyles and they sit all day long, and because they sit and because they don't move around, their body actually experiences pain from, a lot of times it's these muscle imbalances where some muscles just stop working, so other ones are pulling on the other side. I heard a great analogy a long time ago from a physical therapist, and she said, if you could imagine your body being like a huge circus tent, and the muscles being like the poles or the strings or the rope that are pulling the tent up, and the guys on one side of the tent are pulling much harder. So your tent's not going to be, it's not going to be standing up. It's not going to be even. And as a result, in the human body, a lot, what we feel is pain. If you're looking at a circus tent, you're probably just going to think that's going to fall down, and you're probably not going to go underneath it. But it's the same type of thing, that certain muscles will be pulling uncomfortably on joints, causing pain. So to sum it all up, my main suggestions for a healthier lifestyle are to keep moving, whether you're ambulatory, walking from place to place, whether you walk to the grocery store, whether you're walking with your kids, taking the stairs. But as long as you keep moving, that will help decrease some pain and help you feel a little healthier and actually feel a little better about yourself. If you have any questions, you can feel free to visit my website. It's www.austinresultstraining.com. And if you like my video, feel free to rate it, comment, or subscribe. Thank you.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psychetruth channel.